Hi guys, and welcome to our very first lesson on rivers. Now, in this lesson, we're going to have a look at the chapter overall and pick out our essay style questions. So I'm going to get you to go as far as page 287 in your notes. Page 287 will look like this, and we will get started. So first things first, rivers is a chapter that we see in physical geography, which means it appears as part of our short questions and questions number 1, 2, and 3 on our Leaving Cert exam. Now, students will either study rivers, the sea, or glaciation in detail. Here, we're going to be studying rivers in detail. And we're going to be looking at the main 3 essays that the examiner asks. And every single year, we've got between 1 and 2 of these 3 essays. So let's take a look. Now, the first thing the examiner can ask us on is a feature of erosion. Now, our feature of erosion we're going to study is going to be a waterfall. And probably one of the most popular essays that we see out there. That there is our essay number 1. Now, we've seen this multiple times. For instance, we've seen this on the 2024 Leaving Cert paper. We've seen it on the 2022 Leaving Cert paper. We've seen it on the 2020 and so on and so forth. We're seeing this generally speaking, and I am saying generally speaking, every second year. Essay number 2 is my feature of deposition. And our feature of deposition, our main feature, is going to be our delta. Again, you've seen your delta, for instance, in 2023, you've seen it in 2021, and again, then generally speaking, every second year. Again, I'm saying generally speaking. Now, what you'll find on the Leaving Cert exam paper is pretty much every second year, or every single year, I should say, one, the other, or back in 2014, both together combined, appeared on the Leaving Cert paper. So you learn these 2 essays, you learn them perfectly, and pretty much every single year you are getting one or a combination of both. Now we do have to be conscious because it is on the it is on our syllabus that the examiner could say the word features. You'll notice I bracketed that off. Features of erosion. Now if they did, my second feature would be a V-shaped valley. But if they said features, we go for 8 significant relevant points for our waterfall, and we go for 7 significant relevant points with our V-shaped valley, which means naming it would be 1. Given an example like the Avoca River Valley in County Wicklow would be a 2nd, and drawing a label diagram would be a 3rd. So really you only need 4 SRPs additionally after that for a V-shaped valley. Now, while that's highly unlikely, I just want to keep that on the list. Again, just to have it in your mind. When they say feature of deposition, they could technically say features of deposition. A second feature of deposition would be a floodplain. Again, that flat or level area land found either side of the river. And similar to if they said features of erosion, we go for 7 significant relevant points with our second one here. Again, 1 for naming the word floodplains, 2 for giving a diagram of a floodplain, nice easy one with our levees in there and our bluff lines, and a 3rd one we've given an example. Any flat area around maybe the River Shannon, so the River Shannon in County Leitrim, would be a floodplain. You could say Carrick and Shannon if you wanted to be specific. However, that there hasn't been asked, so I'm just going to bracket it off there, but I want to keep it in your minds. So we're going waterfall, delta, and every single year we've got one of those. Last essay here is essay number 3, and it's my human interaction with river processes. Now, sometimes the examiner will mention the word flood controls here, and again, you can mention your levees. We'll have a little look at them in there. But our human interaction with rivers, whether it's just interfering with the river processes or it's flood control measures, we're going to look at dams and dam construction. Now, in relation to dams or dam construction, again, what you're seeing is kind of this trend of every second year. And what you'll find where, I suppose, every second year, what goes against this is human interaction or human interference with the rock cycle. You're normally seeing that essay, which is geothermal energy, or this. Or in 2022, you've seen both. So we've seen this in 2024. We've seen it in 2022. We've seen it in 2020, so on and so forth. But this, i.e. your dam construction essay, and your geothermal energy, you've seen one, the other, or both. So you add one essay to this list, and more than likely in your Leaving Cert exam, you're going to have 2 out of 4 essays. That's amazing, guys, because there is only 6 essays asked for your Part Bs and your Part Cs. Now let's take a second and let's just prove that this is our list. So I'm going to get you to jump over in your notes over as far as page 336 in your notes, and we're just going to have a quick dissection of these 3 particular essays. So let's take a look. So here on page 336, you should see the following. So let's start off with this 2024 exam paper question. Let's see what they ask. They say, examine the processes of erosion on the formation of one fluvial landform. Now, straight away there, what I want you to do is I want you to put a line through coastal and through glacial. I also want you to circle the ES on processes because they are asking for more than one. This essay is worth 30 marks, which is 15 minutes of my time and 15 significant relevant points. So a very quick and easy dissection for ourselves. Our one fluvial landform, the word fluvial is another word for river. Pop that in. Our fluvial landform is going to be our waterfall. For stating our fluvial landform associated with erosion, we'll get a tick and 2 marks. You're also going to back it up with 2 other things. I'll abbreviate here. You're going to back it up with an example, and our example is going to be Paris-Court Falls. Paris-Court Falls, I have very little space. They're in County Wicklow. You're also going to draw in your little label diagram. For each of those, you'll also receive a tick and 2 marks. But you will also see where we highlighted the word processes of erosion. Here, my process of erosion, let's pop them in. Number 1, number 2, our hydraulic action and abrasion. For stating these processes of erosion named, we get a tick and 2 marks each, bringing our 30 marks up to 10 out of 30. Nice, quick, and nice, easy marks right there. Let's take a look at the second 2024 question, 3C. In 2024, question number 3C, what they asked. They say human activity impacts on the surface processes. Examine this statement with reference to one of the following. Number 1, the impact of flood control measures on river processes. That is our go-to. So let's put a line through the one related to coastal and mass movement. Get rid of them. Now, this one's a little bit of a trickier essay, but here what we're going to be discussing is dams. No marks for dams, but if I back this up with an example of a dam, such as the Three Gorge Dam, along the River Yangtze in China, I'll get a tick and 2 marks for this. Again, I can also draw in that little label diagram of a dam. Minimum 3 labels must be relevant, and I'll get a tick and 2 marks, bringing me up as far as 4 marks. Now, you can also get some nice, quick and easy marks for talking about the river processes that are affected. Now, river processes that are affected, in this case here, I'm not going to give you the full sentence, but I'll just give you words. Basically, sediments builds up behind the dam, and a dam reduces transportation of sediment. Again, that's not the sentence written out, but just that you have the idea. You'll get a tick and 2, bringing you up as far as 8 marks out of 30. It's a little bit more generous than your geothermal energy essay. The third and final essay that I want you to look at here is the 2023. 2023, it says examine the impact of the process of deposition. Notice it doesn't say ES, of one fluvial landform. Again, similar idea, put a line through coastal, glacial, we don't want them. Notice it doesn't say processes of deposition. Now, my one fluvial landform, again, fluvial is another word for river, related to deposition is my delta. Similar idea to as before, we back this up with our example. Now, my example here is a little bit long. It's the River Shannon estuary in County Limerick. Pop in County Limerick as well, don't forget that. And I can also draw that label diagram. I get a tick and 2, tick and 2, tick and 2. Bring me up as far as 6 marks for those. I go back to the words process of deposition. Now, the reason they don't say the ES there like they did in that 2024 question for erosion is deposition is one process rather than a series of processes. And instead, our examiner wants us to talk about reasons why a river deposits. So reasons why river deposits, there's multiple. I'll give you 2. Flocculation. Flocculation is that process where freshwater and saltwater mix and basically clay particles clot. The second one here is a reduction in velocity. It can be a reduction in volume either. Again, there's a number of different options. I'm just keeping it nice and short for the purposes of this class. I get a tick and 2 marks, tick and 2 marks, and again, I get 10 out of 30. So we've gone through them essays, you've seen them, and again, what I need you now to do is go back and dissect the rest. Again, work your way back as far as maybe around 2014 when you've seen that question where they combine the two. Again, we'll have a look at that in a later lesson.